Hi, this is Brian Lazar with the Colorado Avalanche Information Center, and welcome to your weekly Avalanche Outlook. Let's start by diving into what current danger looks like on our homepage map, which really tells the story of what's going on here. You can see most of our western zones, or all I should say, are at generally safe avalanche conditions. That's low danger or level 1 of 5. In our easternmost forecast zones, which includes the Front Range, the Vail Summit, the Sawatch Range, and then down south in the Sangre de Cristo Range, we have moderate avalanche danger. And the reason for that is different in the green versus the yellow areas. In the areas with low avalanche danger, the avalanche danger is driven primarily by wet avalanche activity. So what we've seen over the last little week when we've seen warm-up conditions is we're getting small, loose, wet avalanches like those depicted in these photos. This one's down in the North San Juans. We had some small, loose, wet avalanche activity near Winter Park this week. We also had some wet avalanche activity in the Vail and Summit County areas. And these are the kinds of indications that we're talking about in the forecast. When you start to see pinwheels, roller balls, slushy surface conditions, we know that wet avalanche activity is imminent. So things like this are signs that it's time to move to colder, shadier terrain or exit avalanche terrain. This problem is going to last with us through Friday before we see a change in conditions. The areas that are hanging on to moderate avalanche danger are level 2 of 5. The avalanche danger in these areas is driven by our persistent slab avalanche problem. So these are avalanches that are continuing to break on a weak layer that formed in our drought during the middle of the winter. And these avalanches are slowing down, but they're continuing to trickle in. These are just from the last few days. This one's up near the Eisenhower Tunnel in an area called Coon Hill. And you can see that the avalanche broke into some deeper weak layers, and these are certainly avalanches large enough to bury, injure, or even kill a person. This is the crown of an avalanche that took place in what's called Question Mark Bowl, and this is over towards Fremont Pass between Copper Mountain and Leadville. And here's just a little video of what that avalanche and Question Mark Bowl looked like. And you can see here that this broke, pretty big. It put debris down, several hundred vertical feet. You can see it was a wind-loaded slope right below the cornice. But this avalanche certainly was big enough to bury or kill a person. And because we're continuing to see this type of avalanche activity trickle in, that keeps us at moderate danger. These weak layers are healing and they are gaining strength. These large destructive avalanches are becoming less and less frequent. But as these images and video illustrate, we are not completely out of the woods with this avalanche problem. So this is pretty much going to be our conditions through the rest of Thursday and through Friday. Things do start to change Friday night as a low pressure system starts to impact Colorado. Snowfall is going to start on Friday night and last through the weekend. And as this model run shows, we're looking at storm totals anywhere from kind of 4 to 12 inches with some locally even higher amounts than that by the time we get to Sunday night. So as is typical with the spring, we're going to transition from these loose, wet avalanche concerns back to cold, dry snow. We could certainly see enough snow accumulation as early as Saturday to start seeing avalanches in the storm snow. This is going to be most worrisome on wind-loaded slopes, which kind of face north through east through south at higher elevations. So these avalanches and the fresh wind drifted snow are going to be our concern for Saturday, Sunday, maybe lingering into Monday. Monday, things do dry out, warm up, and the sun returns. And so we're going to see this cold, fresh snow, see strong April sunshine for the first time. And we can expect a return of wet avalanche activity when the cold, dry snow gets wet and moist. So again, look for those obvious signs of instability like pinwheels, roller balls, slushy, unsupportable snow conditions. And that's telling you it's time to exit sunny slopes, move to colder, shadier aspects, or actually exit avalanche terrain. And that's going to be the condition as we move through early and even into mid next week with no big storms on the horizon throughout the rest of April. So we've got one more kind of transition here to close out the month of April. Please check your avalanche forecast at colorado.gov/avalanche or on the CAIC mobile app. We'll see you back here next week for one more weekly update and enjoy the spring conditions.